early. I know usually I'm late, but I thought, what the heck? I'm ready to paint. 2 people are waiting. Let's just get it on. Get it on. Bang a gong. Get it on. Anyway, let me go ahead and do a sound check and make sure it's all working. All right, cool. So, give me my paintbrush. She's trying to take my brush. Trying to take the brush. Anyway, so I have Relay here. Relay. And this thing does not bend down very far. That kind of stinks. Hopefully I can get it in view here. And we have the body and the head. I already hit it with a matte clear. And Jay, when you get yours has also already been hit with a matte clear, so it's ready for painting, just as a heads up. And the other one I'll be selling on eBay that will be not painted will also be hit with a matte clear, so it'll be ready for painting. And just like the other ones, you can see it's got the white crud on it. Hey, Juan Soto. It's not where the supports were. I feel really stupid. It's where I didn't clean it well enough with my toothbrush before I used the infrared light on it. So what happens is you can see that it's right up here on the head because I cleaned this part really good and I cleaned this part really good, and it's like, oh. And once you cure it, you can't get it off. And at first I was getting it everywhere on all my prints, and it's because I had an older toothbrush. And then I got a new toothbrush. It's like, oh, cool. That works really good. Well, now I'm using a toothbrush. It's the new one, but it's not as new as it used to be. So I need to get another new one again. But it just stinks because once you cure it, either you have to sand it off with 400 grit sandpaper and water, or you just got to paint over it. There's no way around it. It's just resin that wasn't fully cured while it was being made in the printer. Now, parts that have the supports, let me show you here. So in case you get one of these from me, there'll be little bumps sometimes, and that's where the supports were. Like here was a support, here's a support. So the first thing you want to do is try to take those off. Usually you can get them off with your fingernail. This thing was covered with supports when I made them because obviously it was sitting in the printer like this. And so all the way up inside there was tons of supports. But it's not too bad. Most of them came off. You know, I should get a... Oh, you know what? I will use these scissors. These shears to take off that support. Let's see if I can get it off with this. Ugh. Much better than a thumbnail. There we go. Let's get the one off his foot too. Hooray. Hooray. I kind of bent my nail trying to get the other one off. All right. So, looks like most of the other spots are... There's a support right there too. It didn't come off all the way. Now normally I'd take and sand him with 400 grit sandpaper first before I paint him, but I'm just going to go to town on this guy because he's pretty smooth already. I got some new kind of resin. It's more of a plasticky kind of resin, so it's stronger. The old resin I used to use, which I still do on some occasions, would be very brittle and could break pretty easy. This one here is known to be stronger, so it's a little bit different than what I'm used to using. So we'll see how the paint adheres to it. So let's take a look at our relay that we're trying to paint from. Do the supports, are they chosen by the program, or do you have to tell the computer where you want it? Yes and no. So when you tell the computer to put supports in, it just does it for you automatically. But sometimes you may want to remove some or add some more. So I found sometimes there might be a support that runs too close, like it would be like right up against the side of this leg to touch up here or something. And if you print it that way, you're going to have a whole support length of shaft going up. So sometimes you have to remove some, sometimes you have to add them. Basically, you just take and look at the model one layer at a time all the way up and down. And as you do, you just look for those spots that are freestanding and add supports there. Yeah, a long time ago, I used to always add all the supports myself. So I think I'm going to do the brown first, and then after the brown, I'm going to do the blue skin. I think that'd be the easiest way, because I'm going to get this brown, especially trying to get up inside here. I'm going to get that brown everywhere, so I'm going to do that first. So let's go ahead and make some brown. And this brown's too dark, and this brown here is too light. So together, I'm hoping they will be just right. So I should shake these first. Skeletor's like, oh no, he's broken. Who's gonna paint him? Anyway, Skeletor, back to your bin. Back to your bin, Skeletor. All right. A little bit of brown. Joop, joop, joop. Ugh. And a little bit of skin color. See? Skin. And I'll hold these colors up to the screen so you guys can see exactly what I'm using. Joop. Joop. That's pretty good. So these are actually not the same brand. This one is SmartCraft, and its color is golden brown. And this one is Apple Barrel, and its color is melted chocolate. Melted chocolate. I keep thinking I'm painting the big one, but this little one's going to be so hard to paint. I don't even think this brush is going to even work to get in there. We'll see. Let me just imagine how this will be. And his tail's still blue. Okay, let's give this a try. I need more skin in there. I need more skin in the game. Yeah, I'm not trying to go for an exact match. I don't even like this brown. This brown to me is just kind of yucky looking. So I just want a lighter brown, but I don't want the exact same color. I don't like the color they used originally, so I am actually not going for the same color. So I'm not going for a perfect match here. Not a perfect match, Captain. Now, if you want to perfectly match it, you can, but I do not like the actual brown they used, so I am not going for that. Now, I can tell already this is going to take an awful lot of coats. You can see how sparse that looks on there. It goes all the way to his neck, which is good. I'll just paint all the way to the hole. Paint the hole. His ears are uncovered, so we'll leave those alone. And let's see how far it goes to his chin. Okay, yep. Right up under his chin. Right there. You know, my son's getting really good at painting these. I should just hire him to do it, because he actually does a better job than me. You know, I should have grabbed my painting glasses. You know what? I'm going to go do that. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab my better glasses so I can see what the heck I'm doing. Hold up. I should have grabbed them before I came in. Oh, now I'm tripping on my lights. All right, I got my more powerful spectacles, and they are filthy. Hey, Juan Soul, are you the only guy on there? I only see comments from you, man. What kind of video are you watching? This guy's doing heavy breathing in the microphone. All right, there we go. Much better. Juan Solo says he's doing the opposite. He's doing the blue first. Well, what I'll probably do is the brown like you see. Then I'll probably come back and do the blue. And then I'll probably come back and touch up the brown again. Because, you know, you got to do it 4 times to get it right. There we go. Right up against that ear. Right up against the ear underneath. Right up against the ear on this side. Cover all those white crusties. Yeah, I was kicking myself once I saw it dried and saw the white crusties on there. I was like, man, I should have got a brand new toothbrush. What was I thinking? And this resin was pretty spendy too, which made it even more annoying because I spent way too much on the resin I used for this. And we're going to put lots of coats on here. All right. Well, that's not too bad for our first coat. We will set him aside and we will start the body. So the body, his neck is supposed to still be blue, so we'll leave that alone. And then he has brown boots, and then some kind of brown. The whole entire thing, his tail stays blue, his legs stay blue, and that's about it. Pretty simple design. Is that in shot? Yep. Now, if you want, you could make his collar and his belt a different color. I don't plan to. I plan on just leaving his belt and his collar the same color brown. I know, how boring, right? We just paint right around his little leg there, his little arm, we want to call it. I guess since he's a dog, it would be his leg still. Just nowhere to grab this figure. Grab him by the tail. I got a tiger by the tail. Well, I got a relay by the tail. Now, I know when this is done that his head is going to keep scraping the paint off if I move it. That is just a given. I know that's going to happen. That's why I printed him in blue. Like I said, I bought this blue just for him. Now, it's going to stink because the blue is so much different. It is an option. If you wanted to, you could just paint him with the same color blue I used to print him with. That way then you don't have to worry about the scrapage of the of his head moving. Or you could just glue his head in the position you want. And that'd probably be the easiest fix, is get his head just the way you want it to look, because it doesn't stay in there very good anyway. It just kind of sits on there. And then just take some super glue, put a little dab in there, adjust it how you want, and then leave it. And then let it sit for 24 hours. In fact, I might even do that with this one once I'm done painting him, is make him more into a statue. I know it's kind of boring because there's one articulation point. Here I took it away by gluing it in. But I think it'll be better. That way the paint doesn't keep getting sloughed off over and over again. Hey, Mr. Teal, thanks for joining us. Hey, Master Thor, thanks for being here. Delaxorian, thanks for being here. Another painting video with Todd. Now, if I remember right, I had a really hard time getting on the inside of his legs with the paintbrush when I did this years ago. I actually made this figure a long time ago, and I painted one, and it was a pain in the rear, just like this part of his body right here. I printed him in gray, which is funny because in the gray one you can't see the white crusties because it's already light gray. And so I never knew I had a problem. I didn't know I had a problem, sir. I think I accidentally painted his leg. I did. Well, let's just scratch that right off there. The best we can. We'll paint over with blue later on, just so I don't forget. It's hard to tell where that line is. Where is the line in the sand? Okay, gotta get a smaller brush. Let's try this little one. This little brush of mine. I'm gonna stuff it in there. See, there's just no straight shots to these little areas here. I'm so annoyed at those white crusties. It just drives me crazy that those ended up getting all over this. All right. Well, that does not look too shabby yet. I mean, there's still spots that I'll have to go back and redo. For my second coat. But for our first coat, not too bad. All right, let's go back and do the head again. I'll just stick with my small brush now that I got it already out. Of course, the small brush takes a whole lot longer to get all the little spots, but I'm going big brush. That's just too painful. Big old nice strokes. All right. That's not looking too bad. The question is too bad the same as good? Not too bad. All right. So you can see there were supports on the back of this right there. Those holes are. That's where some of the supports were, as his head was sitting like this in the printer. That was not smart. Some of the hardest part about painting something small like this is where do you put your hands when you're trying to grab and move. Okay. Back to the body. I should just go with the small brush on this. Coat number 2 on the body. You know what I should have done? I should have mixed my white resin with my blue resin to make a lighter blue. Seeing how close I could have got it. That'd have been a cool idea. Well, maybe next year. Next century. When I pull this out again. Of course, by then I'll forget and I'll print it the same way. Be like, I should have mixed white resin with that. Let's paint around his diaper area. It is kind of weird. He's supposed to be a dog, but not just a dog, but a robot dog. And he has clothes on. That just seemed kind of odd. I mean, first of all, dogs usually don't wear clothes. And second of all, he's a robot, which robots don't wear clothes. So he should doubly not wear clothes. I forgot to do his boots last time. Did you guys say that in the comments? Did you say, hey, what about the boots? Let's see. Nope. No wonder my name about the boots. That's funny. I can't believe I forgot his boots. Well, let's get on it. Ugh, those tight little spots. Just hard to get in there to paint. Oops, sorry you guys. And I'm painting out of frame. You can see my hand painting. Look at that. I should just unzoom this now. I don't know how it got zoomed in, what I was doing. What were you thinking? Now I got brown on his leg over there. One boot done, 3 to go. Yeah, I remember when I made this relay, I thought it'd be cool to have one. And I was kind of bummed I didn't have one the right size. So that's why I ended up making this miniaturized version of one. Oh, now I got more brown on his leg. It's a good thing we're painting blue afterwards. More brown on the legs. So I left him barefoot. He could have been the barefoot one. So Jay, if you're watching, man, here's what you got to go through when you get yours in the mail. I think it's still connected right there. Yeah, it is. All right. I'm going to let these boots dry, and then you will do another paint on him. Let's redo the head for the third coat. Coat number 3. Zoop, zoop. Well, the head's really easy to paint when it comes to the brown, but we'll see how hard it is with his eyes and getting really close to the edge here. You know what? In retrospect, I think I could see painting the head blue first, painting the body brown first, because then you could just come around and paint the hood on perfect. Not have to worry about the overlap. So when you said paint the blue first, maybe for the head that makes sense, because there's not a lot of spots that... There we go. I think the brown is done on this guy for now. Yeah, it looks pretty brown. All right. It's relay, it's relay. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I got more brown on the blue. So I went ahead and ordered a Ben Kenobi cape for my Evil Seed. I put a picture of it on my Facebook page if you guys want to check out the Hebrew page. And like always, if you guys want to join Lounge Grayskull and post your own personal pictures of stuff that you're working on, we always like to see cool customs people are working on. So join Lounge Grayskull, show off your cool stuff you're working on. We always love to see it. Everyone in the page is really supportive and enjoys seeing the new stuff. So all right. So he needs another brown coat still, but I'm going to wait and let's start putting the blue on his face. So I decided to go with this turquoise for the blue. It's a little darker than I was hoping for, but it's still pretty good. This is the color here. It is Craft Smart Turquoise. And we'll just put a globular cluster on this plate right here. Oh, it's clogged. No. There we go. Badoop, badoop. Ooh, it's got chunks. Chunks, oh, dried paint. That's what I get for buying paint years ago and not replacing it. And I think I'm going to use this brush right here. That's a pretty good one. And I'll start with his ears, just because they're nice and big and easy to paint. Don't worry about your first coat. It's always very kind of translucency and doesn't really do a lot. So don't worry about that. It's the way it is when you paint. That first coat always looks bad. Once it dries, the second coat goes on pretty good. And the third coat goes on really good. All right. One ear done with the first coat. On to the second one. Turn over. Roll over, roll over. It's supposed to be Red Rover, isn't it? Not roll over. Oh well. I don't think it matters too much. All right, now for the face. That face, that face, that wonderful face. Sorry if you guys are hearing buzzing on the other end. Somebody has texted me, and I know that sometimes ruins the audio. First I didn't know what it was. And everybody kept saying, hey, the sound's going bad. Need more places to hold this. I should have got a paintbrush to jam on the hole in his head. That's what I usually do. All right, well, Mickey Mouse is almost done being painted. Relay is almost done being painted. So it's time to move back to brown onto the other to his body. Okay. Hopefully he won't roll into the paint. No rolling relay. It's mostly his boots that need the second coat more than anything else, so I'm just going to kind of all right, let's go ahead and put some blue on him. New zoo review in blue. I will start with a giant neck piece. Now move on to this one leg with the big old brown spot on the side. See if I can scrape this off first before I... Oh. I gotta fix his head where I touched it. See? Right there. Big old touch spot. Oh, my light burned out. Oh, I guess I gotta go charge it. Hold on, you guys. On to the BB light. We'll see how long this one lasts. Okay. Fix the spot I just touched with my hands. And let's go ahead and do that leg right here. Oh, now I got blue in my brown paintbrush. It takes a very steady hand. Okay, now I have to get way deep inside there. So for that, I'm going to use this itty bitty paintbrush here, gloop it into the paint, and then hope for the best. That does not look too shabby. All right, on to the next leg. This little back curled up leg right here. And this one got a little bit of brown paint on it too. This little grasshopper leg. Grasshopper, if you could snatch the pebble from my hand. Yes, I'm going to definitely need steady hands for painting the face. Bring it around town. Now remember, if I have to, I can go back with brown again and touch up any spots that I may have got a little messy on with the blue. So keep that in mind. I seen this one guy on one line one time. He was trying to paint an eye, and he went back with so many different colors over and over and over again in the same spot just to fix all of his mistakes where he had to keep touching up the same spots to make the sharp edge line. We'll see how I fare on that. All right, now for the internal chicken leg. So funny. My daughter was talking to her daughter about going out to eat. She asked her what she wanted, and she said chicken nuggies, and I started cracking up because my daughter was the same age, which was 3 years old, and she used to also call them chicken nuggies. I was like, that's so funny. Your daughter calls them the same thing you did. Okay, on to the other arm or front leg. I wonder on the blueprints of action figures if they actually call it the body parts. And if they do, when they make animals, because there's one animal I saw, they actually made it just like a humanoid action figure, the way they made the articulation. I wonder if they still called it arms and legs, even though they were all, or if they called it right front, right rear, instead of arms and legs. All right, now for the small brush. Boy, these little areas are just tough, tough, tough. Okay, I got a little spot down there. It needs brown. I got another small brush right here. I'm going to jam in there, get that brown spot. There we go. So it's still blue down there. Okay. And that is one tough leg to paint. I shall remember you, leg, and the trouble you caused. For me and my people. I'm not looking forward to a second coating this. All right, on to the last leg. Now I'm going to save the tail to the very, very end, just so I have something to hang on to. So I'm not going to paint this tail until the very end. Just going to go and do a few coats on it at the very last thing. Otherwise I'm going to lose the spot to grip onto. I remember there was this one girl at our church. We were doing the Pinewood Derby. And my kids got involved too, and it was really cool. And I remember we designed a bunch of different cars. We did a Nickelodeon slime car. It was kind of cool. Coated with hot glue and put in the oven, and it just boiled the hot glue all over the car. And we painted it green, and it was really cool. We also did a Barbie car for my daughter, and did some other cars too. Well, this girl did a logger truck, and it was amazing. I mean, she did an amazing job on it. I was just so impressed. She had little twigs, real twigs from outside that she tied in as logs, and it just looked really cool. Well, as I'm sitting there and listening to the old men in the church, of course I'm one of the old men now because these guys were probably my age at the time. One of them got kind of annoyed at this teenage girl because she spent so long doing her cool truck. And he's like, why doesn't she go get a job instead of spending time doing this? And I'm like, really, dude? Really? I mean, granted, she probably spent hours doing it. But even me, I have a full-time job. But it's not like because I have a full-time job, I can't do other things too. And so I was kind of annoyed that this guy made this comment about this girl. She was probably about 15 or 16, and sometimes she'd come over and babysit our kids. So she had a little part-time job of babysitting. But I couldn't believe when this guy was just like, she needs to get a real job, and she's wasting time making this truck. It's like, dude, you're just jealous because she outdid your little car. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and set this aside and let that dry. And let's go back to the face. Now after this is all done, I'm going to take it downstairs and put a clear coat on it. I might even do that before I paint the eyes. I'm debating which way I want to go. It's funny, actually, that old guy is still at our church. Normally I like this old guy too, he's a great guy. But just this one time, it's like, dude. Yeah, it's funny because my kids now are the same age that I was when that happened. That does not look too shabby. You can tell this blue paint's pretty thick. From the last time I used it, it wasn't nearly this thick. I think it was the same blue that I used. I think I bought it to paint the original one that I had. I think the only time I ever used it was to paint the other relay. Oh, got the blue on the brown. No! It's one little flick of the paintbrush. It's all over. Ugh. I probably shouldn't have painted this little piece on top either till later. I'm going to have to repaint it from touching it so much. Sorry I can't see your guys' comments if you're leaving them. It'd be cool if my phone actually read the comments out loud while I was doing this. Then I could listen and then reply back to you guys. Of course, then you guys would hear them too. Of course, they've actually made it so you can listen to it in your headphones. That could work. What I should have done is have Mike Fee join me live, and he could have read your guys' comments to me. Is Mike even on there? Oh, I don't see him. He probably got tired of watching me paint in slow motion. Okay. Let's see if we can't get that blue off of there. Yeah, it's just smearing worse. Let's touch it up now. My brown's drying out. Yeah, I gotta remix my brown. Just for one little dot. That's about the right color. We'll come back and hit that again in a few minutes. All right, we'll set that head there, and we'll go back to this body. You know what? I should just use a small brush for the whole part of these arms. Front legs. You guys can know what I mean. It's such a long process to paint these things. Well, that does not look too shabby. I could go back and clean up some of my lines with some browns. I may do that. But I might need another paintbrush before I do that. I don't know. I'll see. Oop. All right, let's let that sit for a minute. And then let's take a look at this and see. I could actually use one more coat. I'll just use a small brush just to finish this up. Gotta use a big brush to smooth it out. I just was making a mess. There we go. It looks better. Turn it over. I was doing good on this one too, and I just messed up the clean line on the brown there. face looks pretty good. I'm not going to add any more paint to the face. That face, that face, that beautiful face. All right, check out this brush. This is awesome. This is super sharp, super keen. And I'm going to use this to fix my brown lines. I'm going to go wash all my brushes, do a clear coat, and then finish this up. Well, of course, I'll also there we go. Nice and clean. And no caffeine. I guess it's crisp and clean or no caffeine. Oh, oh. Oh yeah, looks really good. All right. It looks pretty clean. Now around the diaper area here. We've been fighting for this real estate for a while. Yeah, this side doesn't look too bad. I got one little spot of blue right there. Let's clean that up. Now let's do the tops of all those little booties. Those little booties are a pain. In the tush. I'm not even in camera. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm doing this awesome job around all the booties and you guys can't even see. See, that's why I need a cameraman. Or a camera woman. I need a camera person. All right, that's looking pretty good. Look at that. Click-a-tat. Okay, let's do the tail now. The tail's going to take 2 or 3 coats too, so bear with me here. Ugh. Globular tail cluster. All right, we'll let that sit so it can dry. And I'm trying to debate, clean my brushes really quick. These ones at least, so I can reuse them for doing the eyes. And I will be right back. I should make an intermission video you guys can watch on my screen, but you guys can just watch the painted pieces. Hey Kenny, thanks for joining me. Just trying to paint this guy. Ah, there's some paper towels. Sorry about all the out of camera shot stuff you guys missed when I was doing the detail painting, but I don't have pink for his tongue. I don't know if I'm going to paint his tongue pink. That would be an awful lot to ask to get the little paintbrush in there. Let's see what I got. Let me first put another coat of blue on his tail. Let me dry my hands really good before I touch them. You missed one spot there. Uh-oh, Juan. I don't know which spot that is. Coat number 2 on the tail. Okay. There we go. Let me go look for some pink paint for the tongue maybe and see if I can find something. Hold on. got some pink paint. Pink paint. Actually, I should put this over here. And I got a different turquoise. Let's see if it's a different color. It's the same turquoise. Actually, it feels like it's jello inside there. Did the whole thing dry? Nope, I guess not. All right, let's paint that tail one last time for the third and final coat. This brush is getting pretty messy. Probably should have waited a little longer before I did it. It's pulling some of the other paint off because it was still a little too wet. We'll come back to it later. We'll paint the tail again after we paint the eyes. I'm running out of spots to paint on my plate. Okay, let's just set this aside for now and let us look at this face and decide what we're going to do. I got to change my light. My light has gone out. On to CC. And let me go charge this one so we're ready when we're ready. Okay, so we have to paint the eyelashes on him, the whites of his eyes, and the blacks of his eyes, and his little tongue and his nose and the little stripe on there. So we got a lot of little things to do. I'm going to start with the whites of his eyes because that's going to take the most amount of paint to make work. So I got some white paint here. And let's just stick some right there. It's not going to take a lot. And that's too big. This one should work. Yeah, that should work. Okay. Let's see how good of a job I can do on this. Now, last time I did this, I totally botched it up. It was a disaster. And I'm surprised somebody even bought it from me on eBay. We'll see if I can do better years later. Let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see what the heck I am doing here. Okay. Whew. Let's see how I do on the other side. See if we can make it match. This paintbrush is just not the best. It's starting to slough apart on me. When you're painting something so small, you can really tell if they're not going to match or not. It'll be really obvious if one's smaller and one's bigger. See, and if you mess up, you want to make sure the mess ups look the same on both sides. All right, I don't think it looks too bad. Not too shabby for a first coat. All right, so now, while we're waiting for that, let's try to darken. And I hate to use, you know what, I gotta go find a blue. I was going to darken it with black to make the little triangle in the line, but you know, if I was smart, I would use a blue to darken it. Be right back with some blue. Ha! Got my blue. This one is called Too Blue, and I guess the name of it is actually Too Blue. I'm just going to add a little drop. This is all dried inside there. I'm going to add way too much. Oop. And where is that super fine brush? What did I do with it? I had one that was like super duper fine, almost to a pinpoint. Now I don't see it. Was this it here? Okay, let's see what we can and can't do with this. Mix up a little bit darker blue here with the turquoise. Okay. This is a challenge. Not too shabby. I'm definitely going to have to fix that line by putting the blue on both sides. Not too terribly bad. Good enough for country boys. All right, let's go ahead and fix the blue on both sides of that line. There we go. There we go. Dun, da, da. All right, now for his pink little tongue. Shake, shake, shake. Really, the pink's dried out too? Come on, every single color? Oh, look at that. I got like... That's how often I use pink. There we go. Just a little dab will do you. Oh, that is some thick pink. But yikes. I don't know how that's going to work. Again, let's touch it up with blue all around. Oh, wrong blue. Right blue. There we go. Little tongue painted. All right, let's go back to the eyes. Second coat of white on the eyes. Here we go. Hey, Charles. Thanks for joining us. This is a long, tedious little process here. All right, there's a second coat of white on his eyes. Now let's do his eyebrows. Not the eyebrows. Now I was debating how to do this. Either use black paint or get a permanent marker. I'm thinking now maybe I should use a permanent marker and do it. We shall see how easy this is. Here it comes. Gloop. It's more like a... It's used to be my thin black. I actually wrote thin black on the top years ago. And it is so thick now. It is ridiculous. Ugh. It's like the tar swamp. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Whew. Those are itty bitty bitty. Three down, three to go. One more. There we go. Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. That's as good as it's going to get. All right, I'm going to try to paint the blacks inside the eyes now, since I have my black paint already out. So let's see how this goes. The trick is whatever I do, I got to make it the same on both sides. So that is the hardest part about this whole thing. I got one stray hair on this paintbrush. This is killing me. And again, I'm rethinking, should I have used a permanent marker instead? Just to draw the eye on here. Tedious. Small little brush. This does not want to do what I want it to do. There we go. There we go. It's not horrible. Now for the other side. So I know I'm not doing a lot of talking. When you try to paint this close, you have to be really careful, and one wrong slip and it is all over. Like that. Oh, and that. Yep, that's the brush I just used. Oh, it's just spreading. No. This reminds me of a really bad math equation. Whatever you do on one side, you got to do on the other. Doesn't look too bad. I think that will work. Let me just dab it with this brush to clean it up. And then we'll put the glint in a minute. Not too shabby. And now for the white glint. If I do this, try to see one dot right off to the side towards the middle of the face. We shall see. Whew. Not too shabby. Let's see. Xerxes, he who masters technology, masters the universe. Wow. All right. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's not horrible. So I think that will work pretty good. I'm going to go coat it with lots of clear, and we'll see how it looks. And if you guys want to hang around, you can, and I'll bring it back in a few minutes clear coated. or if you're done watching, you can go ahead and go too. I'll be right back after clear coating this. It shouldn't take long. So hang tight. If you want, you can look at the king and queen. I'll be right back, you guys.
Okay, that sounds good. Because yeah, I usually don't have PR, so I go out in the morning just so I know what time to be back. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye. You're not talking? No?
All right, let's see if anybody's still online. So I went ahead and did a satin clear coat on it. And there he is, all finished. Oh, his light's dead. Let me get another light. That's the wrong light. There we go. I think I bought a lot of these lights. There he is. I'm going to wait till the satin coat's all done drying before I put them together. Not too shabby. Thanks, Charles. I'll probably put them on eBay. Probably starting bid will be $1. We'll see how high he goes for. And so I can see now are some little places I missed. I see the spot you mentioned I missed right there on his knee. He has a scraped knee right there. No! I may touch that up. I guess I could touch it up now, then go spray him with a clear coat again later. I think that was the only spot that I saw that really needed a touch up. And then I also saw a brown spot on this one. Let's see where that was. Maybe it's just a light shining on it. Let me zoom in on here so I can see it on the camera. I could have sworn I saw a little blue spot still on this. Little. I guess not. Okay, cool. I'll hit them with one more clear coat and stick them on eBay. Starting bid will be $1 like everything else. And hey, Carlos, you're still online. No figures filler while I was gone. Nice. Still no queen for Origins. All right, you guys, thanks for watching this long video of me slowly painting this guy. I mean, I'd give him a 6 out of 10. It's not spectacular. His body came out better than his face did. The face is all right, but it's kind of cool that he's the right size to fit with your either Origins or your Classics. So that's cool. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Oh, and I've been sitting here way too long, and I will see you guys next video. Bye now.